Stay all day.
Now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And what we do is actually one more thing. We got to give you the personal initiative. That's to go get an energy that moves you to go make things happen instead of wait for things to happen. And then what we do, we take all of these elements, we combine them, and we create one philosophy, one framework. We wrote a book on the subject. This is a daily masterclass that comes out daily, every single day, to give you more game on this topic. We even created a university to make sure that you know how to follow this entire framework point by point and apply it to whatever it is that you're doing in life so you can be the person you need to be and do what you need to do and start taking action on it. We call all of this work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Welcome to the show. And today's topic is 10 things to stop doing in your life. Now, this topic came straight from Quora. Quora's the crowdsourcing question and answer site where people can post questions and crowdsource the answers, meaning anybody like you or me can go on there, see question they got asked to the general public, and then just provide their answer. And I did for this particular question. And the question actually was, what are some things that you have stopped doing in your life? That was the question. I answered it and I listed 10 things. I'm going to share those 10 things here today and provide context to each one. And yeah, that's it. That's where this question came from. So 10 things you can stop doing in your life. And when I looked at the master list of all the episodes of this show that have ever come out where I talked about things to stop doing, we have damn near 100 episodes where we talked about stop doing things. So stop talking about yourself because nobody cares. That's for the people who are creators. How to stop living in fear. How to stop watching the game and start playing it. How to stop being underrated. How to stop waiting in life. How to stop wasting time and filling time with meaningless work. How to stop worrying what other people think about you. Stop whining, bitch. How to stop convincing people. How to stop chasing ass and find your focus. How to stop buying your own bullshit. How to stop worrying. How to stop trying to get without giving. Have I given you enough of these? There are a whole bunch more of them. Again, we've done over 100 episodes on topics where I'm trying to tell you how to stop doing things. Because when it comes to this mental game stuff, discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative, yes, there are things that you need to add to your game, but there's also some things that you need to eliminate, some things to get rid of, and sometimes it's addition by subtraction. Now, again, in Work on Your Game University, especially if you go through the Bulletproof Mindset course, the 30 Days of Discipline course, and the Work on Your Game system, we go into detail on all of these things, the things to get rid of and the things to add. But you don't need to be doing a whole lot of things. It's not like you need to have a list of 1,000 different things that you're doing. Sometimes you just got to get rid of some of the bullshit, and that'll help you a lot. So today I'm going to give you a list of 10 things that I have either in my life stopped doing or have advised many others to stop doing. I probably had to stop doing it myself too to advise other people to stop doing it, that has added to their lives by getting rid of stuff. Got it? Good. Point number one. Topic again, 10 things to stop doing in your life. Number one, dealing with people who add no value to your life. I think this one is a simple one. Each one of these is actually self-explanatory in itself. But when it comes to giving value, what does that actually mean? When you say add no value to your life, how do you determine that? Value is anything that is helping you become the person that you want to be, do the things that you want to do, or have the results that you want to have. That is the definition of value. So anyone in your life who is not doing one of those three things, at least one of those three, you need to get rid of them. Get that person out of your life. Stop giving them your time. Stop investing in this individual. And stop allowing them to steal your time. Stop allowing them to leech time out of your life. We talked about this in the levels of people episode. Let me see if I gotta find which episode that was. There are 3 levels of people. The topic is limiting your associations. It's episode number 1058. Limiting your associations with 3 levels of people. You got the 2-minute people, the 2-hour people, and the 2 days people. The people who are the 2-minute individuals, again, you can be cool with them. You can be nice to them, cordial, shake their hand, hug them, take a picture with them if you see them at the mall. But you're not giving them any significant amount of your time simply because they won't give any return. There's no return on that investment. They're not giving you anything back in exchange for that time. So do not deal with people who add no value to your life, not because you're mad at them, not because there's anything wrong with them personally. I mean, they are who they are, and they can choose to be whoever the hell they want to be. But what you need to understand is that your time is limited. Your time is valuable. You're on the clock right now. So if you are giving time to someone who is not giving you anything in exchange for that time, you're not learning anything. You can't benefit from being around them. You don't feel better being around them. You're not smarter. You're not getting any closer to what you want to have in life. Why would you give your time to that? All right, that's wasted time. That's a bad investment. That's an investment that's a sunk cost. Not even an investment. It's a cost. It's an expense. You don't want to do that because, again, you're on the clock, and we're always on the clock when it comes to our time. Point number 2. The topic, once again, is 10 things to stop doing in your life. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop feeling sorry for yourself when things are not going the way that you want them to go. Stop whining about things that are not working in your favor. We talked about this in episode number 86. We talked also in episode number 1387. How not to be a bitch. Episode number 640. Stop asking little bitch ass questions. Don't feel sorry for yourself in life. Why? Because everybody in life goes through shit. Now, you think you're the only one who's going through shit? No, everybody goes through shit. The question is not whether or not you're going to be going through shit. You always either will be, use the word just going through something, or you're about to. The challenge is, what do you do after you've gone through the shit? Do you find a way to keep going? Do you find a way to make your story keep going? Do you allow that shit to end with a period, meaning that's the end of the thought, or does it end with a comma, meaning there is more that comes after it? Or it's just separating the thoughts, but there's another thought that comes right after it. Are you putting a comma or a period at the end of that situation, at the end of that shit? We talked about this in the book, Work on Your Game, which you can get at workonyourgamebook.com. So when something happens in your life, that shit that you go through, if you keep going, eventually you will reach your outcome, and you're going to go through some more shit and more. Eventually you'll reach your outcome, and you get to tell your story. You get to tell everybody how you went through all that shit and you were able to succeed anyway. Those are the people who tell their stories. And then there are people who go through the shit and they fall by the wayside. They allow the shit to slow them down and stop them. Those are the people who become the statistics. They just become a stat of someone who was going through some stuff, but they didn't keep going when it happened, and they just fell off. Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be the story, or do you want to be the statistic? All right, this is the question that you're going to answer. You can ask this of yourself and answer it every time you go through some shit in life, so you can stop feeling sorry for yourself. Going through the shit is actually what makes the story juicier. It makes the story more enjoyable once you finally get to tell it. Point number 3. The topic here today is 10 things to stop doing in your life. Third thing, wasting time. How do you determine what is a positive use of time? What's a wasteful use of time? Well, first of all, you ask yourself a different question, which is, where do I want to go in life? What are the things that I want to do in life, and what type of person do I want to become in life? Those are the 3 questions you ask yourself. Then look at your actions and ask yourself, then, is this action helping me do one of these 3 things? Is this action helping me get to where I want to go? Is it helping me do what I want to do? Is it helping me become who I want to become? If the answer is no, or you can't clearly answer the question yes, then you are probably wasting time. Any person that you hang with, any idea that you indulge in, any energy that you decide to hold inside of yourself, any place that you go, any people that you spend time with. And the law of association is a big thing here. If they are not helping you, again, be, do, or have what you want in life, it is a waste of your time. And why is wasting time such a bad thing? Because your time is not unlimited. If your time was unlimited, then you could waste some and it wouldn't matter. But what makes time so valuable, what makes life as valuable as it is the fact that none of us gets to stay here forever. All of us are here for a short ride in the big picture. In the big picture of how long life has been. We're in the year 2021. That means it's been 2,000 years. It's not even counting the BC years, right? So our time, 100 years, is very little compared to the overall time. So when you waste time, you are basically either saying you don't care what you do with the time that you have here on the planet, or you are unconsciously saying, I think my time is just going to go on forever. All right. If you don't care what you do with your time here on this planet, you're probably listening to the wrong show. And if you think your time is going to go on forever, all right, time will prove you wrong. So make sure you're not wasting your time and doing anything that's not helping you be, do, or have what you want in life. Point number 4, today's topic, 10 things to stop doing in life. Number 4, saying yes to anything that you don't want to do. This is an important one right here. Now, when it comes to things that you don't want to do, sometimes in life there are responsibilities you just have to handle that you don't feel like handling. Listen, when I go for a run outside, I don't want to have to put ice all on my legs and put my feet in the ice bucket and all of that. Sometimes I don't like the feeling. Sometimes it's excruciating. Sometimes I just don't want to be doing it at all. Sometimes I just want to be able to run and just feel perfect. But there's a recovery period that I have to go through. I don't always want to do that. Sometimes I open my inbox and there are a bunch of emails that I got to respond to, and there's a bunch of tedious stuff and a bunch of documentation and things that I got to go through back and forth, and I can't delegate it to anyone else. And I have to go through these things. These are things that I'm not really excited to do, but I do them because it's part of the responsibility. What I'm talking about here, when I say anything that you don't want to do, meaning things where you do actually have an option, such as if someone asks you, do you want to come to lunch? And you don't really want to talk to that person. They're a 2-minute person to you, but you might be a 2-hour person to them. Then you got to have the power to say no. You got to exercise your right to say no and turn that person down. That's what I mean when I say not doing anything that you don't want to do. If there's some part of your life or part of your business, a part of your daily routine that's excruciating to you, you don't really like it, you're not enjoying it anymore, yet you keep doing it, ask yourself, why do I keep doing this? Do I really need to keep doing this? Is this something that I could pass off and maybe stop doing completely? Maybe the answer is yes. But if you keep saying yes to it, that you're going to keep doing it just out of sheer force of habit, then listen, you might be lowering the quality of your own life internally in your mind simply because you keep doing something that you haven't decided, you know what, I'm just going to stop doing this thing. I don't want to do this thing anymore. Stop saying yes to anything that you don't want to do. Take stock. Take inventory of the things that you do in your life, especially the stuff you do on a consistent basis, and ask yourself, do I really need to keep doing this? Do I really want to keep doing this? Do I really want to keep talking to this person? Do I want to keep handling this situation? Do I want to keep working at this job? Do I want to keep running this business? Do I want to keep selling this product? Is this the way I want to keep doing the things that I have been doing? And you should take stock of what you're doing in your life, especially the consistent things. Take stock consistently. Take stock often, because oftentimes we get into habits and routines and we just keep doing things without really thinking, is this something that I actually want to be doing? And that can change over time. Something that you wanted to do last year, you might not want to do anymore this year. It's run its course and it's time to move on. Point number 5. Today's topic is 10 things to stop doing in your life. Number 5, holding your tongue when you know what you're about to say is going to offend someone in the room. Now, this is a big one right here. This is a mental toughness one. This is also a confidence and a communication one. Now, this is one you have to work on a little bit. This is one you might have to put a little bit of time into developing this ability to say what you want to say, even though somebody in the room, somebody who hears you, and the room might be somebody watching your video. The room could be somebody who works at your job. The room could be somebody in the actual car, in the car with you while you're driving. Saying something that you know might offend somebody. Because, listen, not everybody is built to go out and say something that you know is going to offend people and then deal with the backlash that comes with it, the blowback that comes with it. So I'm not telling you to go out and become a shock jock and just say reckless things randomly just because you just want to do it because you heard Dre say it on the show. No. If you do have something to say and you know that somebody may be offended or somebody may have a challenge to it or somebody may push back against it, one thing that I did, and this is, again, each one of these is something that I dealt with myself. One thing that I decided that I was going to do is not hold back and not say what I wanted to say. Now, if somebody gets pissed off, fine. I consider it rejection marketing. Like we talked about in the episode, I'll tell you what number that was in a second. If somebody has a challenge to what I said, this is episode number 1364, rejection marketing, drawing people in by turning people away. If somebody has a challenge or a pushback or they want to question something that I said, that's fine. Question it. I'll give you an answer. But I'm going to say what I want to say because I'd rather have mistakes of commission, meaning I did something and it ends up being wrong, than a mistake of omission, meaning I did nothing and it ends up being wrong. That's just the way that I look at things in life. And I've talked about that in so many different ways here on the show. And it's something that we give an entire section to in the Work on Your Game system course at Work on Your Game University, that in life, do you want to be a person of action or a person of inaction? A person who did things and found out what happened, or a person who thought about things and never knew what happened? It's up to you. Point number 6. Topic here today is 10 things to stop doing in your life. Number 6, being afraid of what might happen, because it usually doesn't. This goes hand in hand with what I just said in point number 5. A lot of times people don't do things not because they don't know what to do or they don't know how to do it, but because they're concerned with what might happen if it goes wrong. If they say something and somebody's really pissed off. If they keep it real, when keeping it real goes wrong. If they take an action and somebody responds in a very, very negative way, or if you were to be ridiculed or criticized or ostracized or attacked in some way for taking some action that offended another person. The challenge with this is, here's my challenge against that fear, is that most of the time when we're afraid of what might happen, we're usually considering the worst case scenario. Most of the time, the worst case scenario never happens. And most of the time, the best case scenario doesn't happen. Most of the time, it's somewhere in between. And even if the worst case scenario does happen, all you have to do is ask yourself, if the worst case scenario occurs, can I deal with it? Can I handle it? Can I recover from it? If the answer is yes, then you might as well do what you want to do. When you're afraid of what might happen and you allow that to slow you down, your whole life is going to be based on fear of what might. And a lot of the things you were afraid of happening, what stopped you from taking action, never would have occurred in the first place had you just had the courage to take action. And that's a damn shame as far as I'm concerned. Point number 7. Topic today is 10 things to stop doing in your life. Number 7, hinging your success or your failure on anything which you do not control. This is the concept of taking ownership. Ownership and responsibility, like we talked about in yesterday's episode, but this is more ownership and responsibility in a mental, emotional, spiritual sense, what we're talking about here today. Ownership meaning, if you're going to fail in life, make sure you fail because of something that you did. Make sure you fail because of a mistake that you made. Make sure you fail because of something that you didn't know or something that you didn't do or somewhere that you came up short. Not because somebody else did something or somebody else took some action or somebody else failed to perform when they were supposed to perform. This is something that I tell to athletes. I've always told to athletes for over a decade. When athletes would come to me and say things like, well, Dre, I'm not achieving the way I want to achieve in basketball because my parents are not supporting my dream, or my coach is not putting me in the game, or something outside of themselves, some externality. And I would always say to the player, listen, if you want to get to the highest level, you want to get to the next level, whatever it may be for you in this game, you got to take ownership. So if your coach is hating, listen, I'm not going to argue with you whether your coach is hating or not. I don't know if they're hating. Do your parents support you? Let's assume that you're telling the truth and they don't support you. Let's say all of those things are true. Understand something. You're the one who still has to live your life. You're the one who still has to play out your career. So if you don't do the things that you say you want to do, you can't blame it on anybody else. You can't put it on somebody and say, well, I wanted to achieve at this level, but because X, Y, Z, I didn't achieve it. Listen, is that what we're going to put on your tombstone? Or this person would have been a success, but their parents, their coach, and their friends were all hating on them. So no, here they lie. All right, they lived 50 years, did nothing, but here's the reason why they achieved absolutely nothing in their life. All right, makes no sense. So you can't hinge your success or your failure on things which you don't control, like how other people feel, what other people do or do not do. Now, while how other people feel and what they do or don't do can affect what happens in your life, absolutely it can, and it will affect what happens in your life. Ownership means you say to yourself, and you have this posture, you emanate this energy that even though other people can and will say and do things that will affect me in some way, shape, or form, I have more control over what happens to me than what anybody else has over what happens to me. That's the mentality and the position, the posture that you need to have when it comes to your success or failure being dependent on you, not on him or her or them or that. So this is something that if you find yourself hinging your success or your failure or blaming your success or your failure on anything that you don't control, I suggest you take control back, or you buy back control over your success or your failure in life by saying, I'm taking ownership of this. Like I talked about a long time ago, is the 51-49 rule. You need to take at least 51% rather, control over what happens in your life. This is episode number 1282, the 51-49 rule, helping people who help themselves. Anything you want to achieve in life, you need to be doing at least 51% of the work, meaning you have a majority ownership stake in what happens. The other 49%, you can get other people in place. Somebody can help you out. Somebody can give you some information. But you need to have at least 51% control, which means everything falls back on you if everybody else falls out and nobody else is doing their job. You have majority ownership. That's point number 7. Number 8, topic here today is 10 things to stop doing in your life. Number 8, asking permission. Asking permission. Why is this something that I tell people to stop doing in life? The reason why, now I talk about this in episode number 909, giving yourself permission to make a bold move. Episode number 626, how to stop asking permission and be a leader. Episode number 1372, fear controls you only with your permission. Permission is when somebody else gives you the okay to do what you want to do, be who you want to be, go after what you want to go after. The problem with asking permission is sometimes that permission may be denied. Sometimes your request may be denied. Sometimes somebody may say, oh, you're asking me permission? No. Now what are you going to do? You want to do nothing because somebody else told you can't? Because somebody else will not grant you the right to do what you want to do? In life, you're better off asking for forgiveness than asking for permission, as the saying goes. That means do what you're going to do, and if you mess up, you can apologize. Instead of thinking about what to do and asking somebody else what they think, and then letting them determine whether you get to do it or not. You are better off, again, making a mistake of commission, for which you can apologize, than a mistake of omission, for which you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs, wondering what would have been, could have been, should have been in your life. Point number 9. Topic is 10 things to stop doing in your life. Stop following rules when you see a better option. Now, notice I said following rules. I didn't say laws. Sorry, don't break laws if you see a better option, but you can break rules. If you break a rule, somebody might be mad at you. You might get a citation. Somebody might write you a parking ticket for breaking a rule. And if you break a law, you might go to jail, or you get hurt for breaking the law. Don't break the law. Breaking the rules, for the most part, when you break a rule, somebody may be pissed off. Somebody might be annoyed. Somebody might have something negative to say about you on their blog or on their Instagram. But who the hell cares? That probably won't even happen. And even if it does, so what? When you see a better option than following the rules, something's going to help you be, do, or have what you want in your life, then it is your duty and responsibility to break the rules and do what you need to do to get to what you want to get to. Following rules when you see a better option is a bad investment, because first of all, you already know this is not going to get you what you want, but you're going to do it anyway. So you are basically consigning yourself to not get what you want in life, not become the person you want to be, not doing what you want to do. Why would you do that? Knowing that you're doing this. Now, if you do it and you didn't know, now you can get some activity knowledge and say, okay, now I got the experience. But if you knew, listen, if you see a better option, it is your duty as a human being to break the rules and do what you need to do. And here's the thing about breaking the rules. Once you break the rule and you produce the result that you want to produce, a lot of times people will notice what you did and they'll say, you know what, that was a good idea. I'm gonna break that rule too. And before you know it, that rule is no longer a rule. Or they have to adjust the rules to fit the new standard that you just set. You have innovated, like we talked about a few days ago, how to become a trendsetter. You have innovated at what you do to the point that now other people are following your lead because you just created a new way of going after things. Now everybody else is going to do what you did. So this goes hand in hand with point number 8, asking permission. And point number 10, last one, topic here today, 10 things to stop doing in your life. Chasing anyone who doesn't want to be caught, at least not by you. In other words, if there's someone you're trying to spend more time with, but every time you call them, they're not answering, or every time you try to arrange making a lunch date with them, they're pushing you off, or every time you try to get around them and get some information or give them some game, they're not really listening or they don't really want to share. Listen, that person's giving you a loud and clear message that they are not interested in you. They're just not that into you. Somebody's just not that into you. All right, you owe it to yourself as a sign of your own personal respect to stop trying to be down with a person who doesn't want to be down with you. If somebody wants to spend time with you, they will find a way to spend time. If somebody doesn't want to spend time with you, they will find a way to not spend time. Ladies and gentlemen who are listening to this, ladies, when you find a guy that you go out with and he's kind of interesting and he's cute and he has some potential, and you go out on that first date and then you're expecting him to call for the next one and he takes a week to call, what is he telling you? All right, maybe he does call after a week, but he's probably telling you that he's maybe not that interested. Maybe he's interested, but he's not that interested. Because if he really was, he wouldn't have waited a week to call back. All right, nobody's busy 24 hours a day for a week straight. At least not when it comes to something that they're interested in. As far as I know, in my life experience. Gentlemen, same thing. The girl takes a week to call you back when you call her back, and she's probably letting you know something that maybe she's just not that interested, unless she has a really compelling reason why she took so long. When somebody's interested in you, they will make time for you. When someone's interested, not only do they take your call, they will call you. Not only will they answer when you knock on their door, they'll come knocking on your door. So when somebody is giving you the impression, or they're showing you very clearly that they don't want to be caught by you, then you need to stop chasing them. All right, this is just a matter of your own personal self-respect. All that being said, let's recap today's class, which is 10 things that you need to stop doing in your life. This is an answer that I gave on Quora. I fleshed it out here today. I made it a hot line and I made it a hot song. Point number 1, stop dealing with people who add no value to your life. Number 2, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Number 3, stop wasting time. Number 4, stop saying yes to anything that you don't actually want to do. Number 5, stop holding your tongue when you know what you're about to say may offend somebody. Number 6, stop being afraid of what might happen because it usually doesn't. Number 7, stop hinging your success or your failure on anything which you do not control. Number 8, stop asking permission. Number 9, stop following rules when you see a better option than following the rules. And number 10, stop chasing anyone who doesn't want to be caught, at least not by you. You want to learn how to take these mental game tools that I just talked about and apply them in a strategic way to your life so you can be who you want to be, create an action plan for actually implementing it, and then actually follow through on that action plan and get real results. That's what we do at Work on Your Game University, where you go through the Work on Your Game system step-by-step process. Not only do you get that, you get access to a bunch of our courses that follow up and enrich on these topics. You get access to our full community. You get texts from me every single day. And you get to come to the live events where I train and you get to ask me questions live in front of the audience. You get to reach out to me directly. All of that at Work on Your Game University. That's workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.